So we're going to try to start creating a nested grid inside this blue box here. So the three, we have 1, 2, 3, we're going to start implementing them into our box here. First things first, get to your HTML and locate your main, and in here we're going to create these blocks. We're going to call them, in my case I'm going to call the first one box underscore A, and I'm going to use 3 of those just to make it easier. So I'm going to call the first one A, the second one B, and the last one C in this case. And you can write a number in here if you want to, so you can easily spot them. Quick save, refresh, you can see they're here and everything types out correctly, and yay! Next thing, go to your CSS and locate your main here. So inside your main you're going to create these 3 boxes we just created in our CSS. So box underscore A, like so, and you can do an indent if you want to, and box underscore, whoopsie daisy. And then we change the name, so we have a C and a B, and we're good to go. Since we are going to use a nested grid inside our main, so inside this, we need to actually explain to the container, which is main, which is where we wrote it in, that we need to use this display grid again. So just like we do in our flex when we do this. So explaining that we need to initialize using display grid, so the system or the browser knows this. Now we've done this, we need to start adding what sort of template we want to use. So grid-template-columns, and looking here, we just need 1 column over here and 1 column over here. So column goes, they are the ones that go down, and we need 2 of those to fit in here. So they are just 1 fraction, 1 fraction. So they're dividing the space equally among them. I'm going to add some padding of 10%. You can try moving around with this while we've done testing. And I'm going to add the box sizing so we don't screw up our actual box by using all these padding and moving them around. I am also going to add something we've not used yet, a grid gap. So grid gap 10 pixels. This is actually the space between here. So this is the grid gap. So instead of us having to use margin to, this one needs this and the box A needs this, we're just going to use this grid gap instead. Now these are done. Now we need to focus on each individual boxes here. Before we use this, and I use this grid template areas where I did the naming, so grid area HD, and they are up here in this specific order. We're going to use the other way with the columns where we use the goes from this 1 to 4, for example, of the row here. So this would be the first side of row, this is 2 and this is 3. So remember how the tables or the size of a table is. So 1, 2 and 3 long. So if you want something to span from 1 to here, we have to type in 1 and divide it by 2. Or if you want it to span from all the way over here, we have to go 1, 2 and then end in 3. So it's the column start, column end scenario all over again. We're going to do the first one, which is grid box A, grid column. Where did it go? There we are. We want it to start in 1 and end in 2. So 1 to 2. We're also going to tell it which row we want it to be in, and we just want it to be in row 1. So that's cool. We're going to add a background color so we can actually see this as well. And I'm doing A0, 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 so it's a gray color. I'm just copying all these right now so I don't have to type it in by hand to the 3 others and just changing them. So that's A, we just created A as the first one. Now we need to look at the second one. So go to B, and in here we're going to change a little bit. We want the column still to start in 1, and we want the row to be 2. And down here in C, we want the grid to start in column, instead of column 1, we just want it to start and end in column 2, because it's over here, starts in 2 and then continues until there's no more space. And we want it to cover 1, 2, 3. So row 1, row 2 and row 3. So let's try and see what this does to our page. And now you can see we have 1, 2 and 3 over here. And just by using these display grid, all these things here, we created our grid inside our grid again, and this is a really quick way to start structuring your content boxes and so on. Next movie we're going to continue doing even more.